I'm Dr. Anna Marie. Today we're discussing a problem that's known by many different names: runner's heel, plantar fasciitis, heel spurs. We're going to be taking a close-up look at chronic heel pain. This painful condition affects millions of people every year, and most of these folks are told that it could take up to a year or longer for their pain to go away. We're going to bring on leading foot and ankle specialist Dr. Michael E. Graham and Dr. TJ on to get some expert advice on treating this heel pain. Doctors, thanks for joining me.
Our pleasure. It's great to be here.
Pleasure to be here.
So tell me about this heel pain. What's exactly going on? Is it because of trauma? What's the deal?
You know, basically it starts with the mechanics of the feet, and the plantar fascia is a big long ligament that goes from the heel to the ball of the foot, and it's there to basically support the arch of the foot. And so for people that have misaligned feet, this ligament is being overstretched thousands of times a day. And then eventually those fibers rupture, and then we end up with pain.
It sounds painful. It sounds painful. Doc, could you kind of explain the sense of what the plantar fascia's function really is?
Yes, so plantar fascia actually, if I may show in the foot model, it's actually on this part connects from heel bone to the arch and then forefoot. So when people don't know about this a lot, but a lot of times overpronation, which causes from ankle bone, dislocates like that, it kind of collapses the arch. But as this happens, the plantar fascia, which is in the bottom, that will be completely strained. And then we take, thousands, tens of thousands of steps every day. This plantar fascia gets basically beaten up, and then they get diseased and they develop inflammation.
So what does it come to treatment options? I mean, I know we see, endless commercials, the kiosks in the mall, even in pharmacies, these arch that you can put into your shoes. What are your thoughts? Is it a solution?
Well, yeah, more than $250 million a year is spent treating heel pain. And when you look at the various websites and the information that's out there, they say, well, it's going to take at least a year or longer to treat. And, basically what ends up happening is that the fascia just finally ruptures. And so, which is the worst thing that you would want. The fascia is there to support your arch. So when that ruptures, then that's going to lead to other problems. Other tendons are going to be strained, and then that can lead to even other issues in your knees, hips, and back. The goal of treatment is to stop the overstretching. So when patients go in and get an injection in their heel, that kind of relieves the symptoms temporarily, but it doesn't address the underlying etiology of why they developed this problem in the first place.
I want to throw this out. I'm not sure if either one of you want to comment on this, but one of the hot buzzwords these days are stem cells. Is stem cells a solution?
Well, stem cells are a temporary solution, again, because it can provide healing to the tissue, but if you still have all of that excessive hindfoot motion, that overpronation, then we haven't, again, solved the underlying etiology, so it's going to be a temporary measure. And so what we want to do is fix things once and for all.
Sounds good. So what is the solution? What's the solution?
You want to show that hypercule bone
Yeah,
model?
well, so when we look at the whole overpronation problem, and this is what Dr. An was talking about, is that we have a naturally occurring space in between the ankle and heel bones called the sinus tarsi. So with overpronation, the ankle bone is sliding off of the heel bone, and then that's what leads to the excessive strain on their plantar fascia. So that's the problem with foot orthotics. When you put something under the bottom of the foot, you still have that excessive motion occurring. So what we have is this revolutionary orthopedic stent that is inserted into the naturally occurring space. And so we still have all of the normal ankle bone motion, but it's stabilized now.
I don't want you to freak viewers out, but that's the actual size of the implant.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's basically the size of your pinky. It's very, very small, and it's performed as just a minimally invasive procedure. So it takes about 15 minutes to put from the initial incision until the last stitch is placed.
What happens if the foot doesn't realign or get into if there's issues? Is it an issue taking it out, or?
Well, that's the great thing about this procedure, is that even though it looks like we have these big threads on here, this doesn't screw into the bone at all. there's some soft tissues that are in this natural canal, and so those tissues grab a hold of the stent and anchor it and hold it into place.
Sounds great. And people are back on their feet pretty quickly, and it has no limitations. You could do whatever, run, jump, do whatever you want, right? Right
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, once the tissues are finally healed, yeah, we have all kinds of athletes that have had this into their feet, and they're performing at a better level because
I
of
understand there's a professional athlete, a tennis star, but we can't mention their name.
that. No, exactly. I know. With waivers, you know. So.
I know in the sense of insurance companies, is it something that they are kind of more and more kind of helping out in regards to covering costs? Or?
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, the insurance industries, they, just because of the rising costs of coverage of various things, they have questionable coverage with this procedure. So what Dr. Anna and I have done is we've founded Atlas Foot Alignment Institutes, which is where patients can go when the insurance doesn't cover it. And so this way, this is something that can be done as an in-office procedure. And these centers offer affordable treatments for their patients.
Well, if folks want to learn more or find a doctor or specialist in the area, where should they go? Good website?
Yeah, absolutely. AtlasFAI.com.
Doctors, thank you so much. Great information.